Award-winning Indian-born American author Bharati Mukherjee was born in Calcutta on July 27, 1940, the second of three daughters, born to wealthy Bengali-speaking Hindu Brahmin parents Sudhir Lal and Beena Mukherjee. Bharati Mukherjee lived her first 7 years of life with her extended family, which was more than 30 people, not including servants and bodyguards. Her father was a very wealthy man and owned a very successful pharmaceutical company. In 1947, Mukherjee and her family moved to England due to her father receiving a job there. She was 8 years old at the time. This opportunity gave Bharati the chance to learn and perfect her English language skills. Mukherjee and her family remained in England for 3 whole years before returning to Calcutta. The reason for this was Beena, Bharati's mother, wanted her daughters to receive the best education possible, and England was not providing that necessity. So after returning from England, Bharati attended a Loreto school in the early 1950s. Loreto schools are a group of all-girl Roman Catholic schools throughout the world associated with the Sisters of Loreto and run by Loreto Educational System or Loreto Nuns, which in India runs 17 schools and 2 colleges. They originated in Ireland in the 1850s, but spread to India and Australia in the 1870s. Its chief purpose was to give top-quality education to girls all around the world. When Bharati Mukherjee left the Loreto School, she attended the University of Calcutta and received her BA in 1959. After attending the University of Calcutta, she went on to the University of Baroda and received 2 MAs in English and Ancient Indian Culture in 1961. Since Mukherjee was awarded a scholarship to the University of Iowa, Sudhir, Bharati's father, agreed that she could attend a 2-year creative writing course in the States while he looked for a good Bengali Brahmin bridegroom for her. He considered writing to be a harmless activity and thought that at the end of 2 years she would return to an arranged marriage and traditional life. But he was sadly mistaken. Bharati Mukherjee attended the University of Iowa, where she earned her MFA in creative writing in 1963 and her PhD in English and comparative learning in 1969. Before graduating from the University of Iowa, Bharati Mukherjee met a Canadian student from Harvard known as Clark Blaise in 1963. The two writers had a quick connection and married within 2 weeks. Together, the two writers have produced 2 books, along with their other independent works. Mukherjee's career as a professor and marriage to Clark assisted on her traveling to the U.S. and Canada in order to teach. Mukherjee has taught at McGill University, Skidmore College, Queens College, and City University of New York. Currently, she is working as a professor in the English department at the University of California, Berkeley. Bharati Mukherjee's work not only reflects her Indian culture, but her experience with immigration as well. Her work not only consists of culture clashes, but undercurrents of violence. Her first novel, The Tiger's Daughter, which was published in 1972, tells of a sheltered Indian woman jolted by immersion in American culture, then shocked as she returns to a violent Calcutta. Wife, her second novel, which was published in 1975, tells descent into madness of an Indian woman trapped in New York City by the fears and passiveness resulting from her upbringing. In Mukherjee's first book of short fiction, Darkness, which was published in 1985, is a collection of stories that tell the indictments of Canadian racism and traditional Indian views of women, but also sharp studies of the edgy inner lives of her characters. The Middleman and Other Stories, which was published in 1988, was her third novel and earned her a National Book Critics Circle Award. It centers on immigrants in the United States who are from developing countries, which is also the subject of two later novels, Jasmine and The Holder of the World. The Holder of the World, which was published in 1993, details the story of a contemporary American woman drawn into the life of a Puritan ancestor who ran off with a Hindu Raja. Mukherjee's later works include Wanting America, Selected Stories, which was published in 1995, and Leave It to Me, which was published in 1997. These novels traces the journey of an American woman abandoned as a child in India and returned to her native land. Desirable Daughters, which was published in 2002, attracted considerable acclaim for its detailed depictions of Indian caste relations and the immigrant experience of reconciling disparate worldviews. Mukherjee delved further into her family history of the characters in Desirable Daughters and wrote the novel The Tree Bride, which was published in 2004. This book conveys broaching issues of the time-spanning ramifications of colonialism. Even though the novels listed have impacted people all around the world, the most influential and acclaimed novels Bharati Mukherjee ever wrote was Jasmine and Miss New India. Jasmine, which was published in 1989, is a story that revolves around a young Punjabi girl named Jasmine. She migrates to the United States to fulfill her late husband's wishes. When she arrives in America, she encounters many hardships, but in the end discovers true happiness. In order to survive in the American society, she had to change her identity multiple times. This novel reflects the time when Bharati Mukherjee was an immigrant herself, trying to migrate from India to Canada. She recalls herself being alienated and called racial slurs by Canadian residents. Even the government agencies handled assaults on particular races. She found true happiness when she and her husband moved to the United States and became a citizen. Miss New India, which was published in 2011, revolves around a girl named Anjali Bose, who was born into a traditional lower middle class family living in a backwater town with an arranged marriage close behind. Anjali's future looks bleak, but her ambition, charm, and fluency in the English language does not go unnoticed by her English teacher, Peter Champion. Champion influences Anjali to travel to Bangalore to make a living and have control of her own destiny. Anjali quickly falls in love with this major metropolis, but of course the seductive pull of modern advances has a dark side, and it is those dangers that threaten Anjali's transformation. This specific novel depicts Mukherjee's arrival in America and trying to establish a new life for herself. Mukherjee's simplicity with discovering her identity as a well-known American, her skill with dialogues and incidents familiar to modern society, refusal to be alienated, and her skills with the English language make her one of the best authors to date. Her books are an inspiration to all, and her words will live on forever.
कैसी है ये दूरी कैसी मजबूरी मैंने नजरों से तुझे छू लिया ओ